If you've tried to be better with money and it felt like wrestling your own brain, you're not broken. You're using willpower for a job that belongs to design. Effortless wealth isn't about never wanting anything or becoming a spreadsheet athlete. It's about making the right thing the easy thing and letting repetition do what motivation never can. The richest households aren't necessarily the most disciplined, they're the most choreographed. They install nudges, defaults, and tiny loops that pay them back every week without a pep talk. This is a calm, long walk through the habits that feel effortless on a Tuesday and compound into a life that quietly gets rich. No bullet points, no lectures, just the things you can make automatic so your future stops depending on your mood. Begin with the habit that cancels 100 bad days. Protect your money from your feelings for the first 48 hours after payday. Route every influx of income into a staging account with no card attached. Naming it matters, so call it staging-rails. You haven't saved anything by doing this, but you have created a corridor where design replaces impulse. Inside that corridor, 4 moves fire without your permission. In the first week of each pay cycle, a bills-only account drafts the non-negotiables: housing, utilities, basic phone, transport, essential insurance, and minimum debt payments. The day after payday, tiny drips refill the predictable irregulars that used to ambush you: tires and service, co-pays and meds, gifts you actually give, school or kid activities, pet care, travel, and the winter energy spike that shows up with a smirk every year. Every Friday morning, a weekly card refills with the amount that carries groceries and ordinary life for 7 days, so drift lasts days, not months. Finally, a savings transfer lands in a high-yield sleep fund before your feelings get a vote, and an investing drip buys a broad, low-cost fund on the same date. When money moves on rails, you stop performing personal finance and start living it. The habit isn't save more. The habit is let the calendar do it. An effortless habit is one your nervous system believes. Scarcity is not just a balance, it's a feeling. When your month is a hallway of alarms, due dates, deliveries, detours, your brain chooses relief now and promises to be better later. Later never arrives. You fix the feeling with reliability, not inspiration. The weekly refill is a small, quiet proof you can carry. It shrinks the problem to 7 days and teaches your brain that Friday will do what Friday always does. When the card is full, you shop without panic. When it's empty, you eat what you have and let Friday arrive. The lesson isn't austerity, it's rhythm. Rhythm makes savings feel normal instead of heroic. The next effortless habit is the 2-minute morning. Rich feels like a day that starts on purpose. Put your phone charger in another room so the algorithm can't set your temperature before you do. When you wake, drink a glass of water, look at light, outside if you can, a lamp if you can't, and do a 2-minute check that your transfers ran. If something failed, you fix a date, not a feeling. That tiny ritual buys you the kind of mornings where delivery doesn't need to apologize for your plans. It costs pennies and pays you in clarity. You'll be shocked how many panicky purchases disappear when your day begins with water, light, and a glance at the rails. Food is where willpower dies, so make food effortless by refusing to audition for MasterChef on a Wednesday. Put a whiteboard on your freezer and write 2 10-minute dinners you will actually cook. Not aspirational meals, not a new identity, things your hands can do half asleep. Eggs and beans with toast, fried rice with an egg or chickpeas, pasta with canned tomatoes and olive oil, a soup you like poured over leftover rice. Shop for those ingredients on a walk when you're already out, not at 10 p.m. when you're negotiating with your future. 2 planned dinners a week delete the exact nights you used to buy panic food. That's not small. It's hundreds of dollars a month and a steadier mood compounded by sleep you didn't lose staring into apps. A habit that looks trivial and acts like rocket fuel is the Friday scoreboard. You don't need a spreadsheet, just a tiny note with 5 lines you update in under 2 minutes. Sleep fund depth, savings rate year to date, debt balance slain since last month, investing contributions since January 1st, and late fees avoided this quarter. Close the note and buy yourself a planned treat. A park coffee, a matinee, a croissant. So joy stops sneaking in as rebellion. Your brain keeps habits that pay you now. The scoreboard pays in confidence immediately, even in flat seasons. It's not motivational, it's mechanical. It tells your nervous system, this is working today. And that's how boring things survive long enough to get extraordinary. The most expensive habit in your life is distance, buying square footage far from the center of your day. Effortless wealth comes from proximity. A smaller place near work, groceries, school, and people you love will make you richer than a bigger place that bills you in fuel, tires, parking, tolls, delivery because you're exhausted, and childcare acrobatics your geography created. If moving isn't possible yet, redesign loops. Shop where you already are. Batch errands into one circuit. Replace a second car with a cargo bike or a bus pass for local loops. Say yes to invitations you can walk to. Proximity is a savings account with sidewalks. The habit isn't don't spend. The habit is spend hours where my feet are. Hours turn into dinners at home, relationships that don't cost a ride, and a brain that can ship useful proof at work instead of recovering from traffic. Those proofs become raises, and those raises route through rails and stop needing rescue. Let's talk debt, because nothing ruins effortless faster than balances you carry like furniture. The habit is choreography you can obey while tired. For credit cards, auto-pay in full every month, if you can. If you're carrying balances now, set a fixed over-minimum payment to leave on payday and roll that same payment forward unchanged as each balance dies. Avalanche versus snowball isn't religion, it's a choice between math and momentum. Pick the one you'll keep and let automation do the discipline. For transportation, pre-approval comes first, out-the-door price is what matters, and the term shouldn't outlast the usefulness of the car. Never roll negative equity. For student loans, know your exact program, put the calendar on your wall, and treat paperwork like rent. Boring, scheduled, and not up for debate. The effortless part isn't that it's easy, it's that you don't renegotiate with yourself every week. Rules written while calm win against moods. The highest leverage effortless habit at work is receipts. Most people try to get paid for effort. Price follows outcomes. Once a week, ship one useful thing and record the number that proves it mattered. Minutes saved by a checklist you wrote, refunds reduced by a clearer message, errors prevented by a better handoff, revenue added by a small fix you built. Keep these in a simple receipts-outcomes document. Learn your employer's compensation calendar and stack visible wins before those dates. When told not yet, ask, what proof by what date would force a yes? If you work for yourself, package one verb into an offer with a definition of done, a timeline, and a deposit so no one rents your calendar. This habit turns your life from hope they notice into here is arithmetic. Money is shy around adjectives and loud around numbers you can point to. Insurance feels like the opposite of effortless, but it is actually the cheapest automatic habit you can buy. You are purchasing a calm future for your worst day. Buy enough health cover to cap your catastrophe. If someone depends on your income, get plain term life that outlives your obligations. If your country offers income protection and you can explain it to a teenager, consider it. Insure property at its actual replacement cost, not the number you wish it was worth. Match deductibles to your sleep fund, so shocks become errands. You'll resent premiums until the day you don't. That day is the highest return on spending you'll ever earn. People say budgeting fails because it's restrictive. It fails because it tries to run on guilt and memory. The effortless version runs on two quiet lines you defend like rent: small joy and small generosity. When you plan joy, you stop buying therapy at midnight. When you plan generosity, you stop funding other people's emergencies with shame. Effortless rich is a life you like now, not a diet measured in years. A picnic with friends beats a hangover with fees. A cheap train to see someone you love beats a cart you regret. Put it in the plan. Protect it fiercely. The plan survives because it's kind. The phone in your pocket is a slot machine disguised as a friend.
Effortless wealth requires attention fences. Move shopping and delivery apps off your home screen. Turn off push notifications that aren't humans. Remove saved cards from sites that tempt you. Add friction where you overspend. Remove friction where you underspend. Automatic payday transfers to the sleep fund, bill drafts in week 1, weekly card refills on Fridays, and an investment contribution on dates. You are not trying to be virtuous, you are trying to be lazy in the right direction. Investing, when done effortlessly, is a single sentence you obey while tired. Own the world cheaply through a broad, low-cost equity fund. Add a modest bond ballast if it helps you sleep. Contribute on paydays. Rebalance on your birthday and half-birthday. Change nothing unless you rewrite this policy while calm. Print the sentence and tape it near your charger. Hide trading apps from your home screen. You are not a contest.
The social thermostat around you is not neutral. Some rooms normalize upgrades and express shipping. Other rooms normalize matinees and walks. Become the thermostat. Suggest plans that cost attention instead of debt. A library flex where you all read for an hour and talk for 30 minutes. A board game afternoon with cheap snacks. A tourist day in your own city using free galleries and parks. A repair hour where you borrow tools and fix the thing you've been ignoring. Publish your monthly joy and generosity line to yourself, and if you're brave, to your friends. I've got X for hangs this month. After that, it's breakfasts and walks. Boundaries set early make frugal invisible. Your friends will thank you when their weeks get cheaper too. There is a mini habit I love because it converts almost any life into momentum. Never miss twice. If a transfer fails, you catch it next Friday and move on. If you raid the weekly card on Wednesday, you tighten Thursday and let Friday arrive. If you skip the scoreboard one week, you do it the next. The power in never miss twice is that it forbids shame while forbidding drift. Effortless is not perfection. Effortless is continuity. Continuity compounds. To see how these habits land in rooms with rent and alarms, walk into 3 houses where effort used to be the only plan. A nurse in her late 20s works rotating shifts, improvises from one account and calls delivery a tool for survival. Payday and due dates never agree, late fees are old friends. One evening, she installs Rails. Income lands in staging Rails, where a card can't reach it. Week 1 drafts rent, phone, transit pass, insurance, and minimums from a bills-only account. Day after payday drips refill tires and service, copays and meds, gifts, and a December travel sync. Every Friday, a weekly card refills with a number that fits reality instead of optimism. She moves her phone charger out of the bedroom, so mornings belong to water, light, and a 2-minute check that her plan ran. She writes eggs and beans and fried rice with an egg on her freezer whiteboard. She sets a tiny savings drip to her sleep fund and a small investing drip to a broad, low-cost fund. 3 months later, late fees are fossils. Delivery is sometimes instead of please. The sleep fund has a pulse, and she feels bored on payday for the first time in years. That boredom is wealth's favorite sound. A teacher with 2 kids lives the affordable house myth. 2 cars, long commutes, and weekends that vanish into errands. He tries coupon Olympics and spreadsheet tabs. Exhaustion eats the gains. He sells the distance and rents near school and groceries. Insurance and fuel shrink. Time expands. He installs Rails, sets a $700 monthly investment and savings drip on the first, and adopts a 90-day quiet period for raises and refunds. He productizes one verb, curriculum map in a week, books 2 Saturdays a month, and collects testimonials with permission. He becomes the friend who suggests park picnics and library flexes. By summer, the car payment is gone, the sleep fund covers 6 weeks, and the scoreboard says the plan is working. It didn't feel like a diet because the week was livable. That's effortless by design, not by virtue. A self-employed designer rides feast and famine, uses apps as therapy, and treats investing like a live feed. She becomes her own payroll. Invoices land in staging Rails. Taxes skim the day money arrives, the bills account fills, a savings drip runs, and the same safe Friday number hits her weekly card from a buffer regardless of which client paid.
She writes a one-sentence investing policy, hides trading apps, and fences curiosity to a tiny sandbox she can afford to call tuition. She creates 2 productized offers with deposits and pause clauses so no one rents her calendar. She runs a quarterly rebuy ritual with a friend over coffee and laughs as 6 maybes vanish. 6 months later, revenue isn't double. Anxiety is half. She didn't become more disciplined. She became better designed. If you want a start tonight ceremony that installs Effortless, treat it like brushing your teeth. Small, repeatable, and boring on purpose. Rename 2 accounts in your banking app, Staging Rails and Sleep Fund. Open or repurpose a bills-only account. In the app, schedule 4 moves to fire without your permission. Week 1 drafts for non-negotiables, day after payday drips for tires and service, co-pays and meds, gifts, school or kid activities, pet care, travel, and winter energy, a Friday morning refill for your weekly card, and a payday savings transfer that feeds the sleep fund before feelings get a vote. Write your one-sentence investing policy while calm and tape it near your charger. Move that charger out of the bedroom so mornings belong to water, light, and a 2-minute check that your plan ran. Put a whiteboard on your freezer and write 2 10-minute dinners you'll actually cook. Build a tiny friction kit, water, snack, charger, small towel, bandage, spare 20 for your bag or trunk so detours stop charging tolls. Open a note labeled scoreboard and write the 5 lines you'll update on Fridays. Text 1 friend and invite them to a 90-day quiet period on upgrades and a library flex next week. Then stop. Let Friday arrive. Listen for the quiet. The transfers run, the bills draft, the pockets drip, the card refills, the savings lands, the scoreboard moves a millimeter, and nothing dramatic occurs. That quiet is your new habit paying you. As the months pass, these effortless habits will make you suspicious of anything that requires a personality transplant. You won't need to become a new person to change your net worth. You'll need to make your current person run a better week. You'll notice that the truly rich behaviors all share the same DNA. They run on dates, not feelings. They are easy to do on bad days. They reduce the number of decisions you make. They keep you close to the places you actually live. They automate the boring parts and schedule the fun parts, so rebellion never gets to hold the mic. The compounding shows up everywhere. In money you don't have to borrow, in meals you didn't finance, in rooms you didn't drive to, in proofs you shipped that got you paid, in joy you didn't sneak but enjoyed in daylight. There will be seasons that test you. A bill will arrive crooked, a tire will die early, someone you love will ask for a kind of help money can't quite express. Effortless doesn't mean painless. It means you already did the work to make pain survivable. The rails will catch your fall. The sleep fund will buy you hours to make a sane decision. Your scripts will say not now without guilt. Your scoreboard will still move a little, and that hint of progress will keep you inside the system until the season changes. This is how ordinary people get rich in real life. They make the right thing require less effort than the wrong thing, then they let time get the credit. The final habit is humility. When this starts to work, you will want to optimize. Resist the urge to hire 3 new apps to manage what design already fixed. If you tinker, tinker with income. 1 more proof shipped a week, 1 small offer made cleaner, 1 conversation had sooner with a boss who pays for outcomes. Keep the rails, the 2-minute morning, the freezer whiteboard, the Friday scoreboard, the quarterly rebuy ritual, the joy and generosity lines, the proximity bias, and the never miss twice clause. Keep them when you're happy, stressed, promoted, or in love. The right habits are boring. The life they buy isn't. You'll know you've crossed over when payday feels like nothing and your card reader never surprises you. That's the sensation of rich before the number makes it obvious. It feels like a quiet month you can carry with one hand and a future you don't need to perform for because it's already funded on the calendar. You don't need a new personality. You need new pipes. Install them once, let them run. Let boredom do what brilliance never could, make you quietly, relentlessly, embarrassingly rich compared to your past self. That is the way effortless habits pay, not with applause, but with Fridays that keep their promises and years that don't ambush you. If you can do it this week, you can do it forever. That's the whole trick, and that's why it works.